That's impossible, John. For the sake of the man's reputation, his family.
Even if it's true.
Especially if it's true.
I should rather like to explore the ruins. It appears the temple is a Doric construction. The poet Nestor mentions it when he describes the journey home from Troy. He speaks of...
Sunion, the sacred promontory of Athens. Have you tried the woodcock, Fletcher?
It's all bones, my lord.
If my calculations are correct, the dimensions of Sunion are precisely the same as Hephaestus, possibly built by the same man.
When Greeks were men, not slaves to the Turks.
Well, I'd like to sketch it. Later.
What is that?
By order of the governor of Athens. Let us pass. It is filth, Greek filth. I ordered that to throw it into the sea.
I am a peer of the realm. Open it. If you please, you bastard. Open it.
You obstructed an officer of my guard in the pursuance of his duty. Were you an ordinary man, Lord Byron, you would not be sitting here now.
How very fortunate, then. When I was 10, I inherited a peerage.
Have you enjoyed your time in Turkey?
I had thought myself in Greece.
To us, the whole empire is Turkey and has been for 300 years. What is the purpose of your visit here?
Merely to observe the manner of life in the East.
I should not believe what they say then. That in your land, true pleasure is forbidden. Only women are allowed.
Customs vary.
So you come here.
Tonight, Your Excellency, I have come to plead for a woman's freedom.
Women are worthless.
Possibly so. Yet to take a life for an hour of lust.
She is guilty. I am not a brutal man, but the law of the Sultan is specific.
How much would it take to make it less specific?
The last of the money is gone. It's time to go home, Hobby.
Wow. And what shall we find there, I wonder? What shall we do with our lives?
Very unusual.
The lands of the Mediterranean, Mr. Murray, are rich in mystery.
Hints from Horace is a pretty title, but I confess I have reservations as to its merit.
You won't publish it?
I regret to say that the taste of the town has changed during your 2 years abroad.
You may keep the tortoise, Mr. Murray, as a small beam of sunshine in the murk of your Grub Street life.
My lord, are these hints and this creature the sole product of your tour? You have seen exotic places. Did you not write about them?
I did. But I have another poem.
May I read it? What is it called?
It's called Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, though I doubt it will suit. The taste of the town being so damn modern.
Where are you headed?
To Newstead. My mother claims to be unwell, but as I have never known her not to claim to be unwell, I make no particular haste. She will still be her usual malignant self when I get there. The gloves. And when, alas, our brains are gone, what nobler substitute than wine? I think I should give up poetry, Fletcher, don't you?
Yes, my lord.
Why the devil are you yawning?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, my lord.
And you want to crawl back under the blankets with Mrs. Fletcher, do you?
Mrs. Fletcher is dead, my lord.
Dead? When?
It's when we was on our travels, my lord.
Damn it, man, you should have told me. What about the serving girl? The young one?
Susan, my lord.
Is she married?
Susan is unattached.
I don't suppose Susan could prepare me a plate of eggs.
She is retired to bed, my lord. I don't think she's asleep.
Your lordship. I'm Susan.
Ah. And I swam the Hellespont from Sestos to Abydos.
You swam the Hellespont?
He did. He swims like a fish.
And the women? Were they fair?
Dark in the main. Dark scroop, and above all, cheap.
It was 2 years of bliss. Bliss and debauchery.
Oh. And now what?
What indeed? At 23, the best of life is over and its bitters double. After the East, England seems a pale imitation of life.
Aren't you writing?
I've a couple of cantos concerning the adventures of one Childe Harold. Manly specimen, rather passionate, who journeys to Greece and Albania. Hobby may recognise a deal of it.
Does he sigh a lot and mope after girls?
Does he have a limp, by any chance?
Thank God it does me good to see you. Thank you for coming all this way.
I bring bad news. Matthews is dead. He dived into the Cam and was caught in a bed of weeds.
But Charlie Matthews was a fine swimmer.
Well, he drowned. At least that's the Cambridge version.
Suicide.
He was an atheist, a Republican, and something too fond of small boys. What future had he? Here. Let us just say that he drowned in the Cam. To the dead.
The dead. The dead. And now what's left to live for?
Well, I have my dice and cards, you your scribbling.
I wish often that I were a gambler. Win or lose, you feel something. But I feel nothing. And I'm sunk as a poet.
Hobhouse has his politics.
Hobhouse, as we all know, is a fool.
And what's wrong with politics?
Nothing wrong with them, Hobby. Provided you remember they are a futile pursuit. I addressed the House of Lords the other day. Rather finely wrought speech, as a matter of fact. But one which made bugger all difference to anything.
You don't make a difference in a day.
And your theme, George?
Well, do you see? The learned Fletcher informed me that the machines in Nottingham are putting our stocking weavers out of work. The men are rampaging at night, smashing the new equipment. The government wants to make this frame-breaking a capital offence.
Well, we cannot have the wanton destruction of private property, can we?
Yes, but they're starving, don't you see? They're starving.
It is a disgrace to a civilized country! I have been in some of the most oppressed provinces of Turkey, but never, even under that most despotic government, did I behold such wretchedness as I have seen since my return! And how will your lordships implement this bill? Erect a gibbet in every field? And hang up men like scarecrows? Bravo! Oratory of the old school.
I must be good at something, mustn't I, Scoot? Are you familiar with the doctrine of predestination, Fletcher?
Not as to the detail, my lord.
Well, I am.
Wouldn't expect no less, my lord.
My mother made it very clear. We are the damned of Aberdeen. Put Mr. Davies in his bed. Gently, man! I owe him £4,800. Tambogi! Tambogi!
Lord Holland's compliments to Lord Byron.
Solved the Irish question yet?
Working on it, George. What the deuce is going on? Half of London has left its card.
I awoke one morning to find myself famous.
Famous? For what?
For Childe Harold, the gloomy little ponce. Murray published it.
And it's sold?
It sold out. In 3 days. One is very much in demand.
I search in vain for its appeal. I mean, it reads like a map of the Mediterranean, larded with gods and heroes from a schoolboy's grammar. And the half-rhymes. And the dedications. Horrors.
Lord Byron and Captain Hobhouse.
Lord Byron, will you take tea?
I assure you I have seen mankind in various countries, and I find them all equally despicable. If anything, the balance is slightly in favour of the Turks.
But they're not Christian.
Oh dear.
Your friend is much in demand, Captain.
So it appears, Lady Melbourne.
I will have nothing to do with your immortality. Are we not miserable enough in this life without the absurdity of speculating upon another? Besides, if we are meant to live forever, why do we bother to die at all?
Then are you a Platonist, Lord Byron?
I am nothing at all.
You must be something.
Just a poor poet.
And how did you learn to be that?
For a man to become a poet, he must be in love. Or miserable.
Which are you?
Now Harold felt himself at length alone, and bade to Christian tongues a long adieu. Now he had ventured on a shore unknown, which all admired, but many dread to view. His breast was armed 'gainst fate, his wants were few. Peril he sought not, but ne'er shrank to meet. The scene was savage, but the scene was new. This made the ceaseless toil of travel sweet, beat back keen winter's blast, and welcomed summer's heat.
It is splendidly written. But all of society is asking, is it you enjoying these adventures?
I have done some odd things in my time.
They say at Cambridge you procured a bear.
Oh, my bear was adorable.
But what did you intend to do with the creature?
I intended it should sit for a fellowship. But the Dons disagreed. Thought the bear had a good chance myself. I will take no mutton, thank you.
Will you take fish?
Not fish, no.
Then what may I offer you?
I eat only potatoes, mashed in a little vinegar, if they could manage that. And a glass of soda water.
You're vain, I think.
I detest fat. My mother was fat.
I fear for you, Byron. You have leapt to a sudden celebrity. Your youth, your looks, your wanderings in Greece combine to make you a prize, a trophy. But be cautious.
In what respect cautious?
In respect of falling in love.
Oh, I fall in love before breakfast. I fall in love with my dogs.
Nevertheless, certain things are allowed, certain things are not.
Usually go for the latter.
Usually so do I.
My dear Lady Melbourne, were there fewer years between us?
Were there fewer years between us, dinner would have ended long ago.
Fletcher, hock and soda, and a plate of meat.
My lord, post. And my lord,
I'll have it in a minute.
Lord Byron.
Does it look like I do? This new music is monstrous.
Oh, I understand. May I inquire what you are writing now?
No, you may not. I have a black soul, Miss Milbank. I had rather not risk its corrupting me.
If you could endeavour to control your natural sarcasm, my lord, I dare say I should judge you quite sincere.
You are too good for me, Miss Milbank. I am dreadfully perverted. The newspapers have it in black and white.
I do not read the newspapers. And I do not think you are such a dangerous person. Your excellent poem proves you can feel nobly, but for some reason you discourage your own good nature. I think you play a part for the ladies, if the truth be known.
What is it prompts such frankness?
My Christian duty, merely. If I could persuade you to look inside yourself...
Do you think that there is one person here who dare to do that?
I have some friends desire your acquaintance. This is Miss Milbank's first season. She seeks a husband.
Could she not find one in Jane Austen?
My niece is a most intelligent young woman. She stands to inherit. And her figure is, I would say, passable. She is perfect.
I'd like her more were she a little less perfect.
I'm sure you know Tom Moore, also a poet.
No, I don't. No more. At last.
Oh, have you met my daughter-in-law, Lady Caroline?
I'd leave it go, my lord. Plenty more where that one come from.
It was a snub, Fletcher. Every other woman in London wants to know me.
A rose in March. How unusual.
I am told your ladyship likes everything that is new and rare. For a moment.
You have the face of an angel.
Bad angel. Why did you run away?
I saw you whispering with my cousin. I was jealous.
I deny whispering with your cousin. Who is your cousin?
Annabella Milbank. You and she were stationed in a corner.
Discussing the purification of my soul, if I recall.
You've never discussed that with me.
Lady Caroline, I've only this minute met you.
That's no excuse. Are we to be lovers? I said, are we to be lovers?
Are you mad?
I don't know. You?
Do you keep abreast of the latest stuff?
Why, yes. Whenever I hear of a good new book, I rush out and buy an old one. Hello, Tom.
I hope you don't mind. I've brought a guest. Mr. Murray, you know. And this is a fellow scribbler, Rogers. Lord Byron.
We are all somewhat in awe of you, my lord. You have found that rare treasure. Your own voice.
By accident, I assure you. I don't think Childe Harold my very best work. I rather like Hints from Horace.
We meet every Thursday. I and my most famous authors.
Well, we were your most famous authors. Some upstart has come and knocked us off our perch.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Night.
I want you.
If you're seen, you're ruined.
I don't care.
Well, seduce me then. I dare you.
With tight little asses, don't you?
Good morning, Miss Milbank.
You're leaving Lady Caroline's very early, Lord Byron. I hope she has not been rude. She can be, you know. I'm just on my way to discuss with her some mathematical problems I've been attempting. Are you keen on mathematics by any chance?
I am content to admire them at an incomprehensible distance. I know that 2 and 2 make 4, and should be glad to prove it if I could, though I must say if I could get them to make 5, it would give me much greater pleasure.
Why ever would you wish to do that?
I have told you before, Miss Milbank. Perverted. What would it take to convince you?
You will never convince me, Lord Byron. The tea. Carol, you're not up?
My coat, please.
Hello, Georgie. Is it true you're famous?
Will you not come up?
To a gentleman's apartment? Alone?
It is no impropriety, I think, for me to entertain my sister.
Just been to the bank. Nothing in it, and... shh, secret. Another baby due. Ought to be an uncle again, but I don't absolutely know how to cope.
Where's the Colonel?
Following the horses. He has an incurable passion for losing money and only returns to 6 Mile Bottom when Newmarket races are on. Don't think I made a very clever match, George. Still, on with the show, etc., silver linings and all of that.
I myself am in debt to the tune of 25,000 or thereabouts. I shall have to sell Newstead. Perhaps then I may be in a position...
Oh, I didn't come to beg for help. I'm a silly old goose, but I'll manage. Brain like boiled cabbage. But never mind.
Will you quit your damned crinkum crankum, you lunatic?
Oh, Georgie. How long's it been?
113,000?
Come on, come on.
Any advance on 113,000 guineas for Newstead Abbey, Nottinghamshire, with its park, grounds, and...
I hear rumours of you and a certain lady.
Any further bids? Gentlemen, for the last time, any further bids?
I think she's spreading them herself.
Then I declare the lot withdrawn, as the reserve price has not been reached.
Oh, bad luck. Still, I'm sure some little lamb will console you.
Lord Byron does not care to waltz.
But you loved her once. After a few days it went away. Rather like a sore throat. Her reputation's pretty well shot to pieces. Watch out for your own. I can't get rid of her hobby. She hangs around my neck like Coleridge's wretched bird. She thinks if she's with me, she has to be outrageous. Oh, well, we can't have that, can we? Oh, don't be cross. I know I'm a fool. How's the army? Fought any battles? God, I fancy a battle. Right, it's a stepping stone, that's all. As soon as I inherit, I shall resign my commission and run for Parliament. I reckon I can get elected. Just need to consolidate my politics. I've managed to consolidate my politics into an utter detestation of all governments. I cannot bear.
Page below with a letter for your lordship. Must be given personally, he says.
Too late for a page, isn't it? I've recently had mail from my sister. She may be back in town. I had no idea you had a sister. Half-sister. Different mothers. Hadn't seen her for 13 years.
Fletcher! Get off me!
Keep waiting, we can elope tonight.
Elope? What a stupid idea!
Oh, you tired of me?
Yes, I am tired of you, Caroline. Yes, I am.
I love you!
Get off me! Get out! Let me try and reason with her. There's no reasoning living with her. She's insane!
She was never my type. Too small and thin. And thinks herself intellectual, having once read the preface to a novel.
William has removed her to Ireland, where she threatens to kill herself. Or you, or both. However, nobody believes her. Her stratagem's all too charmingly familiar. Now, what will you do?
I shall leave town.
Have you fallen in love?
I am quite done with falling in love.
Children.
Fervent admirer of King Herod, as a matter of fact.
5 months, I think, since you've seen the Colonel.
Keep off! Come on!
How do you survive?
It's very hard, but we bear up somehow. And fuddle and muddle, that's me.
You come from a long line of financial disasters, Gus. To be a Byron, my mother said, is to be doomed.
I'm a Byron. Am I doomed?
Come and fly the kite, Uncle.
Here
we go. Right. Give me the kite. Yes. Right. Ready? And run. Run. Faster. Oh! Nearly.
Any few thoughts?
Do be more original. I beg your pardon, Augusta.
What happened to you in London?
I was made a fool of.
You must make plans. Making plans is fun.
I want to do something with my life, and this isn't it.
Of course it isn't. All this Thrasybulus and Thermopylae and what have you. Why is everyone so fussed about Greece anyway?
It's an ideal place.
No, I don't like ideals. I like things I can see and smell and feel. There must have been lots and lots of girls.
There were. And from each I took a little clipping of her hair.
From here.
From here.
Oh, why, it's hectic life up London. Never get in before 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning? Well, what about breakfast?
Well, We have breakfast after lunch. What time do you give your husband breakfast?
I haven't no husband.
Carriage is ready, my lord.
Sinful this is.
Sinful? Why? It does no harm to anyone.
It is forbidden fruit. I am a bad man, Augusta.
Oh, you silly goose. We hardly know each other.
Who is the woman?
That must remain my secret.
I don't like secrets. So you say there is some danger?
Very great danger.
Then give it up. Give it up at once.
I cannot.
Then she must give you up.
She cannot.
Then I don't think very highly of this person.
Lady Melbourne, it is not her fault. It is mine. My folly. I am 1,000 times more to blame.
In my experience, the man is never to blame. When you've tired of these childish secrets, Byron, come and see me.
Good evening, my lord.
Miss Milbank, do you object if I rest here?
Not if you talk to me.
What is life for, do you think?
It is a way to do good, to make people happy, and to serve God.
It took me 3 hours to dress this morning. Subtract the buttoning and unbuttoning, the sleeping and eating and swilling, and what is left of real existence? The summer of a dormouse. A few minutes only of sensation.
I do not think sensation so terribly important.
It is our only proof that we exist. That is why we crave it.
You seem to me extremely bewildered, Lord Byron.
To a mind such as yours, Miss Milbank, I am sure I am quite unfathomable.
George, will you raise? You had a winning hand, you idiot. You had a winning hand and you threw it away.
Very much afraid this weather will make it impossible for me to get home. I shall be trapped here. I shall burrow down like a little bunny rabbit, and I shall only come out for snowball fights.
Your damn crinkum crankum. I can't do without it.
thinking.
Don't strain yourself.
You should marry.
Why?
You need a wife.
Well, you're a wife. I'll have you.
If you marry, you might keep this place.
What, by finding some golden dolly and ennobling the dirty puddle of her mercantile blood?
No. A girl of equal rank, only not in debt, like us. There is a further reason, not just the money. I shall be having another child.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth.
You remember well.
Did you ever meet my nurse, May Gray from Aberdeen?
I believe I saw her once.
She beat scripture into me. A few months with May Gray and you remembered every word of it.
I'm sure she was just doing her job, fitting you for adult life.
Yes. I expect that's why she used to take her clothes off, get into my bed and make me spend in her hand. All part of the training.
Did she?
Yes. She'd thrash me in the daytime and toss me off at night. I have ever since then had a curious gloss on matters biblical. I must have been about 9, I suppose.
You poor lamb. I bet you were scared.
I was scared. And I was thrilled.
Lady Charlotte Leveson Gower has refused you.
You?
Now, Sir Elphinstone you will not consider.
Eats like a horse. Couldn't afford her.
Which leaves us with Annabella Milbank.
What? The Princess of Parallelograms? She'll want to barter for my soul.
I don't think that would do any harm, would it? Did you write?
Yes. Very beautiful letter. I neither wish you to promise or pledge yourself to anything. I merely wish to learn if there's a possibility.
Good morning, Mrs. Lee.
Good morning, Pledger.
The post, my love.
Well?
It is from Miss Milbank.
Does she accept?
Never rains but it pours, does it?
We are going to bake the cake, Papa.
Oh, can't eat cake. Doctor's orders.
The wedding cake.
Ah, the poetic wedding cake. Splendid. I was thinking of composing an epithalamium in his honour.
You will no doubt be thrilled.
Of course, it might assist me in my labours if I knew a little more about him.
Well, his last work, The Corsair, sold 10,000 copies on the day of publication.
Won't go short of a guinea, then.
Oh, no, he won't take payment for his verses, Papa. It is beneath a gentleman, he says. You see, in secret he is a zealous friend of all the finer feelings. But in society, he tries to disguise the best points of his character. So he is continually making the most sudden transitions from good to evil and from evil to good. I have heard him describe himself as half dust, half deity. It's fascinating.
But does the fellow shoot?
Miss Elphinstone. How is your appetite?
For what, my lord?
Why, for lobster salad and champagne.
Food. Who cares for food? I had half a hope your inference was indelicate.
I fear you are too late for that. Who is that?
Oh, that's Shelley. Fish Shelley. On the scrounge for money. Got sent down from Oxford, apparently.
For what?
Atheism.
It is your sister. Mystery woman. You were alone with her at Newstead. Besieged her farm when her husband was away. It is your sister, Augusta Lee.
Half-sister.
Have you entirely lost your wits?
On the contrary, I am only...
You may not consort with your sister. It is a thing abhorrent to persons of taste.
Standard practice in ancient Greece.
We're not in ancient Greece, we're in Mayfair. What are your feelings towards Mrs. Lee at the present moment?
At the present moment, half good, half diabolical.
What do you propose to do?
I propose to run off with her, abroad. However, my sister is not so delinquent as I. She will not abscond. So I am shortly to be married to Annabella Milbank. I am only doing it for the pleasure of calling you aunt.
That is not a sound basis for marriage. Marriage is a holy bond.
I confess I find it hard to accept your authority on the subject, Lady Melbourne. Good evening.
I saw Byron.
He has settled on your cousin from Yorkshire. Good. Marriage will be his salvation.
Oh? Well, I cannot see him pulling with a woman who goes to church punctually, understands statistics, and has a rotten figure. Can you?
I thank you very much for your suggestion on religion. But I must tell you, at the hazard of losing whatever good opinion you have of me, that it is a source from which I never did, and believe I never can, derive comfort. Why I came here I know not. Where I shall go it is useless to inquire. In the midst of myriads of living and dead worlds, stars, systems, infinity, why should I be anxious about an atom?
But I will read what books you please, hear what arguments you please. You shall be my guide, philosopher, and friend.
And does he say he loves you?
Oh, yes, he says that. Somewhere.
And when does he set out?
He will set out today. Mama, he's setting out today.
Hobby, would you mind spending Christmas in Cambridge?
Cambridge?
You've no objection, have you?
But they expect us at Seaham House.
Well, the Princess of Parallelograms can square some roots while she waits. Colonel Lee. My respects.
You are welcome, my lord.
There is no racing, then?
At Christmas? Oh, no. We husbands must return home sometime.
I am on my way to get married.
Congratulations.
I must, of course, reform thoroughly. My betrothed is such a good person that, in short, I wish I was a better.
Go to Yorkshire. You must.
It is the purest folly. How can I marry this girl?
I do not possess you. I have no desire to possess you. I simply want you to be happy.
Only you make me happy.
Once knew a fella, but it was a vintner. Took 16 days to travel from London to Norwich. Ran into a party at Chelmsford, apparently, who hailed from the Low Countries. Importunate little tramp she was too. And in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, he's on the dock at Harwich.
Very decent place.
Devilish hot.
Yeah, it's half the coal mines in Yorkshire.
Miss Milbank. It is a long time since we met.
At last.
Society must advance, my lord, surely.
Society never advances beyond a certain point. Look at us now, Reverend. Retrograding to the dull, stupid old system in Europe, putting kings back on their thrones. We ran so far and then turned back.
We ran nowhere in England, as best I may recall.
Lord Byron is a great champion of Bonaparte, Lady Milbank.
That filthy little bandit? Impossible.
It may be affectation, naturally.
Not at all. Any devotion to a noble cause I admire. Give me a republic or a despotism of one like ancient Rome, rather than the ridiculous muddle of 2s and 3s we have here.
It is a confounded muddle, you're quite right. Could never make head or tail of it myself.
Perhaps that's why you weren't elected, Ralph.
Fact is, riches are power, and poverty is slavery all over the earth.
I'm not sure I can agree. There must be a system after all, some rise to the top. It is natural.
As you wish.
We frequent the theatre quite a bit. Why, a fortnight ago we saw Keane play Macbeth.
Did you like him?
I adored him. I adore the theatre.
Annabella's tastes are somewhat less gaudy. She has always had the very finest of everything.
She does like the old poetry, though.
You do a great deal worse. She's a most presentable young person.
But too silent. I like a woman to talk, or I am left with the suspicion she is thinking. This is our last night together, Hobby.
Bride and groom come forward. Would you please kneel?
Can you find someone for this?
Right, you coming too, are you?
Of course.
So what's your name?
Anne Rude.
Rude by name and rude by nature.
Don't be saucy, you.
The ring, please. I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss.
Well done, George. God bless you.
Well done indeed. Splendid. May you both be content for the rest of your days.
I have great hopes that we shall love each other all our lives. As much as if we had never married at all.
Bye, George. George!
Excellent, excellent. What do you think, Judith?
What have we done?
We ought never to have married.
Why?
Because I am evil. I have done evil. Tambourgi! Tambourgi!
Welcome to Harnaby, my lord. Brandy and soda.
Lady Baron, we're all so pleased to see you here.
Hello. What did you mean when you said you had done evil?
Nothing. I was bored.
We are all sinners in the eyes of the Lord. Our daily task is to atone.
Shall we go down to dinner?
You see, there are degrees of evil. Some would say it was bad, for example, to eat meat on Friday, whereas others...
Look, it was merely a casual remark.
But what did you mean by it?
Don't you ever say things off the cuff, for no particular reason?
Mamma has taught me that I should first think, and not act until I have considered the consequences of my actions.
Well, I favour acting first and hoping the consequences fall within my budget.
Should that not be considered irresponsible?
No. Have you any sense of humour at all, Annabella?
My mother says I have. Oh, you doubt her judgment?
Absolutely not. Lady Melbourne has many times warned me about it.
Well, my aunt is a little more peppery than is apt for a lady of her years.
I suppose that's why we go along so well.
But when you said that we should never have married, that you had done evil, you implied a dreadful load of criminality weighing upon your mind. I cannot help rehearsing those words in my head and wondering...
Come here.
A most satisfactory day, my lord. If I might, I will offer my congratulations.
Thank you, Fletcher. Cannot be counted an unbridled success, however, as I have caught a cold. What are you doing here?
Why, I'm coming to bed.
With me?
I am your wife.
Yes, but surely you don't intend to... I never go to sleep with a woman.
Very well, good night.
Well, come back, please. Come back. You may do as you choose. It is only I am a little... inhibited.
You? Your foot. I do think if we are to spend the rest of our lives together, isn't so horrible, is it?
Sleep hath its own world, a boundary between the things misnamed, death and existence. Sleep hath its own world and a wide realm of wild reality. And dreams in their development have breath, and tears, and tortures, and the touch of joy.
Oh, God! Oh, God, I'm in hell!
luncheon, milady.
Good afternoon. From whom is your letter?
My sister.
You got up eventually. That's a good sign.
My mistress rises every day at 6.
Bloody hell.
I wish to make your happiness the first object in life. Please tell me what you expect of me and I'll try.
I only want a woman to laugh. I don't care what she is besides. I could make Augusta laugh at anything.
I dare say I might laugh if you said something funny.
Well then, climb that ledge. I'll race you.
What?
To the top there. 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm stuck. Oh, you're reading the Bible.
Yes, but it will do no good. You have married a fallen angel.
I think that is what Mr. Hobhouse calls an affectation.
Do you? Well, proselytize then. Come along. Sit down and convert me. You may find it a problem.
I'm an accomplished solver of problems.
Then you reckon you can solve me with your fraction of theology.
I warm to the challenge.
Alas, my dear, I already have a great mind to believe in Christianity.
As I thought.
Merely for the pleasure of fancying myself damned. You've seen my mark. You know how wicked I am.
You were born with a minor deformity. Nothing more. You are not wicked.
Oh, I am a villain, Belle. I could convince you of it in 3 words. Softer pillow than my heart.
I wonder which will break first. Yours or mine. Why are you so miserable, Bea?
Annabella, you are good to me. I could not have hoped for a fonder wife. I'll do anything for you.
Would you?
Name it. I'll do it.
Take me to visit your sister. That's what I should like.
It's a devil of a long way to Newmarket, Belle.
That's what I should like.
Got a bad feeling in my water on this road.
What is the matter?
I need a drink.
Why?
Must one give reasons for a drink? Augusta, my wife.
Lady Byron.
Mrs. Lee, I've heard so much about you.
I trust you had a wonderful honeymoon.
The treacle moon? Well, we waded through it, didn't we, Belle? And this is Medora.
Medora? The girl in the corsair? Definitely a Byron, isn't she? B has promised he will not go out so much as he was used to. We shall stay home and read. Now we are quite looking forward to a quiet life in Piccadilly, aren't we? I intend to start him on Locke's reasonableness of Christianity. Let him try arguing with that.
I wonder how the fashions go this season. Are the women wearing drawers or are they not? That is the question. To bare ass or not to bare ass.
He's a rotten tease, isn't he, sis?
Will you take up drawers, Belle? Augusta has.
You'll save that kind of talk for your club if you don't mind.
I don't know where you get these ideas.
I get them from the month we spent at Newstead, in the snow.
I've never been to Newstead.
No, and you never will, because I'm forced to sell it.
If you hadn't been so profligate, you wouldn't have to.
Well, you are the chief architect of my fate.
Fate that can only be described as benevolent. You have married felicitously, George.
I should not have married at all.
Well, I'm tired. I think I shall go to bed. Are you coming?
Indeed, the old fool fancies himself a poet and composes Durham doggerel in my honour, while her mother, who could crack walnuts with her buttocks and weeps tears of glass, is as genteel a trollop as one might wish to meet.
You are vile.
Oh, it was a jolly charade. How long, I wonder, can I go on playing my part now that I have you?
No.
Gus.
No. Your wife is under my roof.
What are you doing?
It's perfectly normal.
Oh, is it?
Don't you like it? Have you heard from Seal? How is your papa?
His gout is troubling him.
Tiresome gout, but rarely fatal. Do sing out at the first sign of terminal illness, though, won't you?
I find completely perplexing this extraordinary solicitude as to my prospects of fortune. You have wealth of your own.
My dear, I cannot sell Newstead. I have nothing but debt.
I will not let something as dull as debt cause doubts and mists between us. I'm very loyal, you know.
Oh, God.
Will you please stop this blaspheming?
Your master seems vaporish.
Oh, he's a decent sort, Anne. There's something about this marrying that don't agree with him.
Married yourself, are you?
Me? Widower.
Sorry to hear it. Most of the time he's a darling, is he? We were happy at seeing him, but then we came here and...
Well, I boss him about. Silly goose resents it. He's the gentlest man, but when he's in his black mood, he's horrid.
Did you tell him to marry me?
Of course. I had to get rid of him somehow. We must reform. You said it yourself.
Augusta, I need you.
That is over, in the past.
Medora is not in the past.
Medora is nothing to do with you. Medora's the Colonel's child.
Oh, is she?
This is a very sudden interest you have in little babies.
I'd lay down with you, Gus. We were lovers.
But now you are married, and it is ancient history.
Christ, I hate being married.
You may not hate it. You must try to be content, try to be a good husband. Will you try?
Tell me why I should.
If you love me as you say you will try.
I do love you.
Then try.
Goodbye. I like her enormously. She tells me she's been made a lady-in-waiting to Queen Charlotte, so she'll be often up to town. I said to come up to us in Piccadilly. I think I'm expecting a child.
Oh, God.
Nice place.
Marriage has its perquisites, eh?
Well, I got a wife and a cold on the same day. But I got rid of the cold pretty speedily.
I don't think there's any need for that. You haven't lived here for 6 months.
We hope for a boy, of course. We are most contented, Aunt. Well, to be frank, we were a little discomposed at 6 Mile Bottom, but we seem to have weathered that.
Keep your eye on Mrs. Lee. The woman is very clever and very wicked.
Good morning, Captain Hobhouse.
Plain Mr. Hobhouse now, Lady Byron. I had to resign my commission.
Did it cost a lot getting elected?
Most of my inheritance, I'm afraid. But I rather suspect it was worth it. I'm now in a position where I may have some influence upon the fate of this country. And that is where I have always wanted to be.
What have you got against living in Piccadilly, George?
It's $700 a year, that's what. And the day before last I found a grey hair on my head. Christ. 28, insolvent, and grey. Who's that talking to Shelley?
A Greek fella. Drumming up money for some lost cause. Trust Shelley to fall for it.
I think that might be his cousin.
My lord,
Fletcher.
we're having a little trouble with bailiffs.
Mamma will hear this news.
No doubt the heavenly host have contacted her already.
Have the civility not to mock the pious.
Your mother is about as pious as a boiled egg.
What is it you expect of me, B? Am I not good enough for you?
You are too good.
You could be better?
You make me worse.
What is that?
Laudanum. For my nerves. Morning.
Are you working?
No, I am thinking of killing myself. I only forbear from a consideration of the pleasure it would give my mother-in-law.
My name is Claire Claremont. I'm a friend of Shelley's.
Oh. I have read his Queen Mab. And why are you here, Miss Claremont?
I want to go to bed with you. How does he take it? Rather keen, I think. But isn't he married? Well, married? What does that? I can never resist the temptation of throwing a pebble at it as I pass by. I shall marry Shelley, you know.
What prevented you from coming across and saying hello?
Not everyone at the club approves of your membership.
And you listen to them, do you? Look, because I'm a revolutionist, I'm dragged through the courts for exposing their frauds and scorning their power. And they would tear from me my children, my property, my liberty, and my fame. But how can I keep silent when there's this?
All religions based on superstition. Priests are agents of state power. Poetry are a weapon against them. He wants a new society for all men. And women too. Can man be free if woman be a slave?
Brandy and soda, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Your parrot bit my finger.
I can get along with anyone. Why can't I get along with her? We're like two parallel lines belong to infinity, side by side but destined never to meet. Then I'm behaving like a swine.
Any idea why?
No, because I'm a Byron.
And you're all doomed. You engineer it, man. You can't get up in the morning without digging a pit for yourself.
I simply won't accept all this predestination guff. I don't believe that any man is damned unequivocally to hell.
No, well, you're not from Aberdeen, are you?
And everything is ready for your accouchement? We are all prepared. Mamma is sending Mrs. Curtin. And I have asked Mrs. Lee to come up. Mrs. Lee? She and her brother are awfully close. But they have some secret, Cara, that I do not share. I do love Augusta. But it is so frustrating. It is like a private language between them. One that I am not allowed to learn.
What?
It will keep till tomorrow, my lord.
I may not be here tomorrow. What do you want, Fletcher?
It's Miss Rood. She and me have an inclination to marry, and I wish to ask for your lordship's permission.
Mrs. Curtin, a bitch from hell.
I'm sure she's nothing of the kind. Hand me into your wife. Dearest Sis, I've just this minute seen him. He is behaving oddly.
I've asked my doctors to conduct an examination. I think he has some malady. But they found nothing, did they, Mrs. Curtin?
Nothing they could prove.
You don't know what a fool I've been about him. Oh, I'm such a silly Billy.
Mr. and Mrs. Fletcher.
Mr. and Mrs. Fletcher.
I paid a call on cousin Annabella. I believe she's finally found a sum she can't do.
Pray don't talk in riddles, Caro. You know I abhor riddles.
It is a curious addition. Byron plus a sister equals...
Mrs. Lee has come to town.
And installed at Piccadilly for the birth.
He has long courted disaster. She is his catastrophe.
At what are you hinting?
What do you think?
Oh, I hardly know.
An outrage which no person of taste will find themselves able to stomach.
They're not attached.
Show me her feet.
What were you doing down there? You trying to kill us both?
They're perfect.
I hope you will be happy.
I will never be happy, Mrs. Lee. And nor will you. We are mired in the nightmare of our delinquencies.
He suggests I take Ada to see him and recover there.
That's a long journey for a newborn child.
Oh, I think you should go. Let your mamma pamper you a little. And, when the opportunity arises, the quaint Lady Millbank with the wrongs he has done you. You will feel better.
I would marry a poet, wouldn't I, Caro? I suppose I deserve it.
No. Tell your mother everything.
I leave tomorrow.
Good. That is good. Some time apart. For reflection.
If I thought it would change anything, I'd throw myself at your feet and tell you I love you. And beg you to start our marriage over again.
This is the object I treasure most in the world. It went all round Greece with me.
He did what?
I'm for reconciliation.
Absolutely no question of it. His crime is in the deepest catalogue of human law.
What do you say then? No?
I did not know it was wrong, Papa.
I'm ashamed of you, George.
You should get out more.
Is it true? You sodomized your wife?
Everyone does it in Turkey.
But not here. Here you can still be hanged for it.
Oh, that is a lot of cant. It is entirely common, as everybody knows.
But entirely uncommon to be cited in the divorce of the 6th Baron Byron. Her lawyers are insisting on a deed of separation. Now, if you do not sign it, if it comes to court, there will be the most appalling scandal. And God knows what else will get out.
My dear cousin, it is hard for me to write this, but as news of your probable separation is on everybody's lips, I must offer my condolence and support. The man we have both loved is intolerable. Clearly, you cannot continue this travesty of a marriage whilst his base feeling for his sister remains as potent as ever. You have acted most bravely, Belle, in attempting to curtail their lawless union by the example of your piety and virtue. But it was not in your power to prevent them. They are bonded tight in evil, and you must break away. It is a hard wrench, I know, but it is just. My thoughts and love are with you, your devoted cousin.
Your wife is signed.
Get out of the country for a spell.
Scroop's right. Stay away from the public eye.
But why?
Because you were their little Greek god, and their delight in pulling you down and tearing you to pieces.
There are awful rumours, George. Go abroad tonight, please.
Abroad? I'm expected at Lady Jersey's.
Mrs. Lee's name has been mentioned.
My sister is beyond reproach, and I will not slink off like a leper. Blood of Christ, I've done nothing wrong!
You must run away. Get away, run.
Come with me.
I can't, George.
Please, come with me.
It is impossible, I can't.
But soon, you'll come soon.
Where?
I'll write, I'll tell you where.
Do write, George, you do.
You know how much I love you.
Lord Byron.
Palazzo Mocenigo?
Sì.
Prego.
Though the day of my destiny is over, and the star of my fate hath declined, thy soft heart refused to discover the faults which so many could find. Though thy soul with my grief was acquainted, it shrunk not to share it with me, and the love which my spirit hath painted, it never hath found but in thee. In the desert a fountain is springing, in the wide waste there still is a tree, and a bird in the solitude singing, which speaks to my spirit of thee.
Prendimi con te.
Shelley is here.
Shelley! Oh, my dear good fella. Questo è il mio amico che viene dall'Inghilterra. Va in cucina e prepari qualcosa da mangiare e bere. Her name is Margarita, built to breed gladiators from, and illiterate, thank Christ. But how wonderful that you're here. Sit down! What do you think of my little palazzo?
I hadn't really expected to find you in such company, to be honest.
The learned Fletcher feels the same. Do you not, Fletcher?
My lord?
You mislike my Venetians.
Well, now against Venetians. Except they're foreign, of course.
Of course. How is our dinner today?
Unspeakably filthy and oily, my lord. As usual.
I don't know where I'd be without Fletcher. He reminds me so much of home. Now, why are you in Venice?
Miss Clement wants her daughter.
No, I will not surrender her.
But she lives among catamites and prostitutes.
Which is why I'm resolved to place her in a convent when she's a year or two older.
A Catholic convent?
Yes. My daughter will become a good Catholic. And it may even be a nun. Character somewhat wanted in our family.
Claire will be mortified.
Claire Claremont, to express it delicately, is a damn bitch who had the very bad taste to fall pregnant after I inadvertently lay in her bed. I never loved her, or pretended to love her, so you can disabuse Miss Claire bloody Claremont of that.
My God. Look at her.
She's fine, aren't you, Allegra?
She's filthy.
Well, she's alive, unlike most of yours.
Do you not think perhaps she would be better with her mother?
Claire has no money. The child is illegitimate. In England, she would be grossly disadvantaged. In Italy, with a fair education and a settlement of 5,000 or 6,000, she may perhaps marry respectably. I do know what I do. Do right, Shelley.
What makes you right?
My inability to prevent it. You?
My dream of revolution. When the poor of every nation will rise up and throw off their chains. Your problem is your intellect. You gaze from your palace at the minnows below and you find their efforts meaningless. Their state unalterable, their misery unending, but it is not so. The material can be altered.
No.
All that holds us back is we ourselves. If we were not weak, we might be all we dream of.
Oh, if we were not weak. But man is born wicked and dies a sinner.
So you hold no hope?
Well, for what? We live a little and then... Good night.
I believe in the perfectibility of man.
You talk utopia, Shelley.
You don't think anything can be changed?
Oh, things may change. But whether our actions have any effect on the process is quite another matter.
So if the gondola goes down, halfway across the lagoon, you'll simply accept it, will you?
If the gondola goes down, I'll swim. You?
I can't swim.
You can't swim? What will you do?
Well, I shall solve the great riddle, shan't I?
Ma vedi un po', tutte a me devono capitare.
hot milk, sir.
You have been his lordship's man a long time, I think.
Yes, I have, sir.
Does it surprise you to see him fettered by a back alley whore?
On the contrary, sir. Any woman can manage Lord Byron. Excepting Lady Byron, of course. She couldn't get the hang of it at all.
Ah, Fletcher. Hock and soda, if you please.
Hello.
So, how did you calm your courtesan? What did you say?
Say? Why, nothing at all. It's an oratorical skill I call the eloquence of action. It's the one way I could silence my wife. Now, here is something for you to read, if you would be gracious enough.
No one has ever written a poem like that before.
I just don't accept that there exists such a thing as a subject unsuited for verse.
Now 30 years my hair is grey. I wonder what it'll be like at 40. I thought of a peruke the other day. My heart is not much greener, and in short, I have squandered my whole summer while 'twas May, and feel no more the spirit to retort. I have spent my life, both interest and principle, and deem not what I deemed my soul invincible. What is the end of fame? 'Tis but to fill a certain portion of uncertain paper. Some liken it to climbing up a hill, whose summit, like all hills, is lost in vapor. For this men write, speak, preach, and heroes kill, and bards burn what they call their midnight taper, to have, when the original is dust, a name, a wretched picture, and worse, bust. You should not sit in solitude in Italy. You are needed in your own country.
Mrs. Fletcher, do please cure Ada of that filthy habit.
Listen to me, Belle. She's making us look foolish. She is still a lady in waiting. She has quarters at the Palace of St. James's. Why, the woman maintains the full sufficiency of her social circuit, despite everything she has done.
And for the Regent's fete I shall wear mauve, such a feminine colour. With a stole, perhaps. What do you think, Sis?
I think we have talked enough of gauzes and satins. I'm surprised to find you going to town at all.
But the Regent's fete I have to attend, in my official whatnot.
I am surprised you can show your face in public.
Dearest Belle, I never meant to harm you.
You have destroyed my life. My daughter will never know her father. I am stared at wherever I go. Why, there are cartoons in the newspapers.
But I have not wronged you. I've never abused you.
Yes, you have.
But what have I done?
You had relations with my husband.
Mama. It's all right, Medora.
Medora? Oh, this is Medora. Why, I'm surprised she has not got two heads.
What do you want here?
I want a confession, that's what I want. Why are you not contrite? Do you think that the laws that apply to others don't apply to Augusta Lee?
I never meant to hurt you, Belle.
You will tell me everything.
Is there post, Fletcher?
Not today, my lord.
My sweet sister, we may have been very wrong, but I repent of nothing, except that cursed marriage. It is heartbreaking to think of our long separation, and, I am sure, more than punishment enough for our sins.
Ain't I reply? He seems so sad.
Is the story of your life, see?
You told me you could not read.
I try. I take a lesson.
A lesson?
See? Then I read Lord Byron.
Margarita, it's time for you to go.
No! Why?
I really am not interested in women who can read. Please, our time is over. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. But you've become quite ungovernable. So adieu.
I kill you!
Fletcher!
Breakfast, please, Fletcher. Eggs, I think. Very good, my lord. You give your word? Very well, Tita.
Disgraziato! Maiale! Sei un maledetto! Imbecille! Sei senza talento!
Here, and here. And Newstead Abbey finally is sold.
For how long was I in the water, Fletcher, when I beat the Cavalier men Galdert swimming?
From 4:30 till 8:15 in the evening, my lord.
Plus, I had a piece in the morning and another at 10 at night.
It's not hard to come by then.
Bobby, I've had a couple of hundred since Carnival. What I earn by my brain, I spend on my bollocks.
It's dangerous to look at.
I do detest the English more with every year that passes. I harm nobody. I make love with but one woman at a time, and as quietly as possible. And the English lie through thick and thin, and invent every kind of absurdity.
I'm fairly certain it's a Tintoretto, but in this light, I'm damned if I may be sure. Come and give me your opinion.
I've no opinion on painting. I detest painting. The most pointless of all the arts. I grew tired of promiscuous concubinage, so I have quitted Venice. I went in pursuit of a Contessa, a young beauty married to a rich old man of 60. Teresa is as fair as sunrise and as warm as noon. She wants me for her Cavaliere Servente. This is a curious Italian custom where a wife may take an admirer with the husband's full knowledge, so long as certain niceties are observed. I am permitted to hold her fan at the opera, for example. And I accompany her to Mass on occasion, but absolutely nothing more. I lived for a year at her palace in Ravenna, where I wrote a poem called Don Juan, which you may or may not like. I am run to fat, dear Augusta, and the crow's foot has been rather lavish of its indelible steps.
My hair, though not gone, seems going, and my teeth remain only by way of courtesy. Silly Billy, so fretful about his appearance.
I always believed the whole affair might terminate unexpectedly, for they are liberal with the knife in Ravenna. But had Count Guiccioli murdered me, I should hardly have complained, for I am done with passion. Teresa is my last attachment. However, the marriage was annulled, by papal decree no less. And we have come to Pisa, to the Casa Lanfranchi. We have acquaintance here, Shelley and his wife, some others from England. A circle of friends. The weather is splendid. Life is slow.
It is all entirely congenial. Dearest Gus, when you write to me, tell me you love me. I miss you terribly.
Do you know what I perpetually wonder?
No, sis.
I perpetually wonder whether your carnal relations with my husband continued after we were married.
Oh, goodness me, no. Good heavens.
Don Juan, indeed. We may imagine what that is like.
A feast of indelicacy. Too bawdy for publication. It may be bawdy, but is it not good English? It may be profligate, but is it not life? Is it not the thing?
From Murray?
No, from Junior Minister Hobhouse. His prick still wet from the stews of Venice, and for the sake of his career.
Don't give way to them.
I will not give way to all the cant of Christendom. I will not submit to have Don Juan cut about. Christ! England is decrepit. Europe is decrepit. A worn-out portion of the globe.
I don't know. There is Greece.
Ferocious fighting in Greece.
Well, yeah. Who would have thought Greeks could be heroes again?
This is not lyric poetry. This is politics and battle.
It'll all amount to nothing as usual.
Why would it all come to nothing?
Because the forces of reaction are too strong.
For God's sake, George, you must have hope.
Hope? Well, what's hope? The paint on the face of existence. The least touch of truth rubs it off. And then we see what a hollow-cheeked harlot we've got hold of.
Gentlemen, come in.
Williams, I think you know. And this is Edward Trelawney.
My God! My Corsair!
The Greeks were besieging the Turkish garrison in the Acropolis. The Turks ran out of lead for their bullets, but they reckoned they'd find some if they smashed open the columns of the Parthenon. Well, when the Greeks heard this, they sent the Turks some lead, which was used to make the bullets, which were then shot back at them. Now, that's what the Parthenon means to these Greek fellows.
Why, Elgin should never have touched it.
And that's why they'll win in the end. And why we ought to go.
Contessa?
Byron, there is bad news. Allegra is dead.
Allegra?
I'm so sorry. Your daughter is dead.
Nobody will blame you.
You think not?
I'm certain the physicians did their best.
Yes, I do. But I doubt Miss Claremont will believe that she died of fever. God, I miss the child. Such brilliant eyes.
So, where do you think she has gone?
Well...
Great mystery.
Allegra has solved it before us.
Don't go to Greece.
Why not?
Because I've heard what it's like.
Oh? What's it like?
When Tripolis fell, the Greeks butchered 3,000 civilians. Pregnant women were ripped open, their babes hacked out, their heads struck off and placed on the bodies of dogs. And this is the side we're supporting? It's barbaric.
Mary, I've done nothing with my life except luxuriate. Even if it is barbaric, I must, for God's sake, do something.
A boat's gone down.
They've found the body. But after 10 days in the sea...
He called it the Great Riddle.
I've lost 2 children. My mother died in childbirth. Claire's Allegra. Shelley's first wife. Never Shelley too. It's not a riddle. It just hurts.
Peter.
Damn this leg.
I'll exchange legs if you'll give me some of your brains.
You'd regret it. Sometimes I can feel my brains boiling, like poor Shelley's when we barbecued him. I'm supposed to administer the funds from London, but who am I to give them to? How do I turn a gang of bandits into an army?
We came here to fight, but we've done nothing except drill.
War turns out to be anything but glamorous, doesn't it?
Well, I've not seen war. If I stay in Mr. Longley, I never shall. I'm going north. Find some action.
Trelawney, don't go, please. You're my best officer.
This is pointless. I want to fight, not dress up and march around.
Bath's ready, my lord.
Thank you, Fletcher. That will be nice.
Do you think we will win? I don't know why we're fighting, to tell the truth. But it is at least something, isn't it? They will not go on without payment.
Non si può fare.
This rain don't seem to stop, does it, my lord?
No, Fletcher.
It's much like knots in that respect.
But they don't play cricket here.
Not that we know, my lord, no.
Sometimes I dream of cricket.
I find the dream of women rather more.
Yes. I dream of them too. I learned it at the court of Ali Pasha in Albania. I sang it to the wives of the gentry of England and Ireland as they undressed and stood before me.
Any change?
No, Doctor.
It is a mild marsh fever. We shall bleed him and he will recover.
But I have lived, and have not lived in vain. My mind may lose its force, my blood its fire, and my frame perish even in conquering pain. But there is that within me which shall tire torture and time, and breathe when I expire. Something unearthly which they deem not of, like the remembered tone of a mute lyre, shall on their softened spirits sink, and move in hearts all rocky now the late remorse of love.